is that time of year, cozy food, comfort food time of year. And one of my favorite ingredients to use this time of year is stuffing mix. You've got a stovetop, which I've used plenty of times before, but this most recent trip I made to Sam's Club, I found a 3-pack of large bags of stuffing mix by Pepperidge Farm, so I picked those up. So today I'm gonna share with you 3 different recipes to use stuffing mix in. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. So the biggest difference between the stovetop and then the Pepperidge Farm, especially the one I got, is size, ounces. So most of the recipes that I find are for stovetop, which is 6 ounces of stuffing mix. These bags are almost triple that size. These are 16-ounce bags. Not a problem. I'll just use what I need out of it, close it up, put it in a gallon Ziploc bag to help keep it fresh. Because, let's be honest, y'all, I'm about to make 3 different ones this week. I'm gonna go through this bag really quickly. So this first recipe I found, apparently it was on the back of a Kraft stuffing mix box or bag long time ago. But this is called a chicken bruschetta bake. And the author of this particular recipe, or the one who shared it, said that she tried it and they really fell in love with it. And this is a meal that she takes to people if she needs something to take to people. Because it's a comfort meal. Gracie's over there eating. She said, look, if you gonna cook, I'm gonna eat. You know I just got the cheese out. How do you know that? You can't hear anything. You know it, don't you? She's like, yep, sure do. Give me some. All right, we'll do that first. First things first. There's some on her ear. Oh, there it is. Let's get started by preheating our oven. We're gonna heat it to 400. I'm making about half of this, so I'm just gonna be using this size dish. If you're making the whole recipe, which of course I'm gonna have linked below, you'll need a 9 by 13. I've got a can of diced tomatoes. These are the onion and roasted garlic tomatoes. I need about half of this can. It does say undrained. We're gonna add in our stuffing mix. Now it calls for 6 ounces, so I'm gonna do about 3 ounces. So I'm just gonna pour it in there till it feels right. I think that's enough. If I need more, I can always add more. It calls for a half a cup of water, so about 1/4 cup of water, but I'm gonna do chicken broth instead. She does mention that if you have chicken broth, it adds a good flavor, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just about 1/4 cup. And then we need some garlic. The bad thing about this garlic is I have to turn it upside down because otherwise it's really hard to get it out. But when you turn it upside down, it comes pouring out as soon as you open it. Watch, you will see. Yep, there it is. Whoop. Let's mix all of that together. I'm gonna add just a little more of the stuffing mix. I do things like my Nana used to say, and I used to look at her weird. She would say, you do it till it feels right. Well, that didn't feel right, so I added more, and now it feels right. Moving on. We're gonna spray this. I've got a little less than 1 pound of chicken here. We're gonna layer that on the bottom. I've just cut it up into bite-sized pieces. Now we're gonna add some basil on top of that. I have dried basil. If you have fresh basil, I think that would probably be fine too, but my fresh basil is currently frozen, so I didn't wanna deal with that. So I'm gonna use the dried. I'm just gonna sprinkle it. Again, until it feels right. I don't want to overload it, but ain't she pretty? And then we need a little bit of mozzarella cheese, which our cheese monster had discovered that I had. So I think the recipe calls for 1 cup. We don't need that much. I'm just using the rest of what's in this bag. And then the only other thing we have to do is just top it with this stuffing mix. So I'm gonna dump all of this out. This is so easy. I mean, the ingredients sound really yummy too, so I don't see how we're going wrong with this one, you know? This is the perfect size for what I need too. So this is gonna go in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes or until our chicken is done. It has been 30 minutes. My house smells so good. Why does that smell so divine? I'm the only one here right now. The guys are on their way home, but I think they've already eaten based off of what they were out doing. So it's probably just gonna be me for the taste test. Sorry. I don't know how this can't be good. My mouth is watering. It's been watering for the last 10 to 15 minutes as I've been smelling this in the oven. I can't even describe to you what this smells like, but the tomatoes mixed with that stuffing. Let's do this. It's hot. It's very, very hot. I'm not gonna pull a Steven. Famous last words, right? Let me blow this off. I'll be back. I feel like I should just stop the video here. This is what you need to make. I love the tomatoes mixed with the stuffing mix. And tell me below, am I wrong? Or is the Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix way better than the stovetop? I've made things with stovetop for years. I don't think I've ever bought the Pepperidge Farm before, but when I saw it at Sam's, I grabbed it. But I think it tastes better. Let me know in the comments below. Y'all, I mean, just pause this right now and add any ingredients that you don't have to your grocery list and thank me later. They just came in from fishing. They don't smell good. What? My kitchen smelled so good until these two walked in. I'm just saying. Do y'all want another stuffing recipe? Good, because I got one for you. Don't let the title of this one throw you off. It is called Yum Yum Chicken, but it does not involve Yum Yum sauce. You know what I'm talking about. At the Japanese restaurants, the Yum Yum sauce. It doesn't involve that. It just means this chicken is yum yum. This is a really easy recipe and it uses already cooked chicken. So I threw a very large, thick chicken breast in my air fryer and went ahead and cooked it first. And then it says to just have chopped chicken. So I didn't shred it, I more chopped it after it came out of the air fryer. So we are ready to go. First things first, preheat our oven to 350. Another quick note, I will always have the recipe linked below in the description box. If you're watching on your phone, I think it says see more and it has like a little triangle and you can click on that and it will expand the description box. But I've got recipes linked there. I am halving this recipe just because we don't need the entire thing. So just keep that in mind. All the ingredients that I'm showing you is just for half of the recipe. I've got some olive oil spray. Just gonna coat the bottom. I have this 8x8. If you're making the whole thing, you will need a 9x13. So let's just take our already cooked and chopped chicken and put it on the bottom. Just kind of spread it out evenly. I've got just one large chicken breast, which is probably about a pound, basically. It was very, very thick. So this is probably about a pound of chicken. I'm gonna do my research because I only need half of each of these. I thought about just doing all of one, but I'm gonna do my research and see if I can freeze the remainders of these. I really hope that I can. Anyway, we're gonna do half of a can of cream of chicken. Or not, hello. Let me get a spoon. And then half of a can of cream of celery. You know, I don't use cream of celery very often. You have to tell me below if you use it a good bit. We need about a half a cup of sour cream. And I'm just going in with my spoon in here because there's basically about a half a cup left in this container. So I didn't need to rinse my spoon because this is just gonna go in the trash. Mix all of that together. Now you just wanna take this mixture and put it all over the chicken. If you will recall from my first recipe, I put the unused portion of my stuffing mix in this large bag. So I'm gonna be using about 3 ounces of this stuffing mix. So again, a normal stovetop box, oven's ready. A normal stovetop box is 6 ounces, so I'm using like half of that amount. But you would use a whole one if you're doing the whole recipe. I need to melt this butter. I've got 2 tablespoons here. And lastly, we're gonna take some chicken broth. I'm gonna use about a half a cup of chicken broth. And we're gonna take our melted butter and add that to it. Just kind of stir that around. And then we're just gonna pour that over top of the stuffing mix. Okay, this is going in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. You don't have to cover it. Let's go. Is there any chicken left, little girl? Hang on, let me see. Couple of morsels. Okay. There you go. She said, where's the rest? Okay, our timer just went off. I'm gonna pull this out. It was already cooked all the way through. This was just to warm it through. It looks really great and I'm pretty hungry, so let's eat.
Some kind of creaminess going on in here.
There's all kinds of creaminess in there. This should be a little comfort food chicken casserole.
The creaminess is almost like a gravy.
Okay.
Like a chicken gravy.
I can see that, yeah.
With the stuffing on top.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yay.
Oh man, yeah, it's like warming.
Uh-huh. It's kind of chilly out here. It's not cold, but it's a little chilly out here.
A lot of good chicken flavor.
Yeah.
Would it be by chance have the cream of chicken in here?
It does. It has that and cream of celery.
Wow. Okay. That combo is really what's it's very rich. The gravy or whatever you want to call it. It's really good.
I did not expect it to be this good. Steven just keeps saying, man, I mean, we could take this to a potluck.
This is delicious.
It is so...
To be so simple.
I know. I know. So much flavor is packed in this. We did put a little pepper on top just because we love pepper, so we added pepper on top at the very end. But other than that, yes. Stephen just had a really good point. So we're coming up on the holiday season. And what did you say, like with leftover turkey?
Leftover turkey meat or leftover chicken, like if you have rotisserie chicken or something.
Right.
Maybe even some canned chicken.
Yeah, I think you could definitely use canned.
Don't tell nobody else.
No. We ain't gonna tell nobody.
But you could use that. You could mix it up with those cream of.
Yeah, it really does
stuffing mix
kind of feel like a gravy on top of it. It's so good.
Cranberry sauce.
Ooh, cranberry sauce would be really good on the side of this.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, okay. Y'all, yeah, this is great. It was just me and Stephen eating this tonight, and we tore it up. Let me show you. This is what we did. I didn't make anything to go on the side, but it's that good. And that is an accurate description of how we feel right now. More, please. We've got one more recipe using stuffing mix. And this one, y'all have told me in the past that you use stuffing mix for this particular recipe, and I've just never done it. So today, we're gonna do it. We are making stuffing mix meatloaf. I have a very happy teenager. His favorite meal is meatloaf. Hands down, right? Yeah. Yeah. So let's make it. Let's start by preheating the oven to 350. First thing we need to do is just finely chop or dice this onion. So I'm gonna use my chopper. We need about a cup of diced onion. That should be good. Okay, now it's time to mix everything together. I've got semi-lean meat here. This is about 1.5 pounds of, I think it's 85/15. Now here's where it would come in handy for me to have a kitchen scale. Just a note, I ordered one just a few minutes ago. But if you have a box of stovetop, you're gonna use the whole box, which is 6 ounces. So I need about 6 ounces of this. And you have to be careful with meatloaf because if you put too much in there, you could dry out the meatloaf. So I'm a little nervous, but it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna say that's probably enough. You like that? You like how I just eyeballed that? Yep. Okay, we're gonna add our onion in here. We need 2 eggs. And before I just pop them in there, y'all have reminded me of this. I've done this in the past, but I haven't done it recently, where you crack the eggs into a separate bowl. First of all, you can get the shell out that you left in there, like I just did. Seriously. Oh wait, somebody said to grab this and this will attract it. Is that right? Well, that ain't working. Come on, man. Work with me.
2 hours later.
Oh, I got it that time. No, sir, no. No!
1 eternity later.
There. Ah, good granny. There's 1 egg. That took 30 minutes. And there's our 2nd egg. Okay. Now, let's add these 2 eggs into our bowl. And then you also need 1/3 cup of milk. So I'm gonna add that in. I'm gonna start by using this big paddle. I called it a paddle. It does look like a paddle. It's not a paddle. What is it called? Spurtle. Spurtle. I'm gonna use this first and just start mixing it up. And then I'm gonna go grab some gloves and mix it up the rest of the way. All right, this is ready. Let me grab my loaf pan. I have a meatloaf pan. Okay, this is a meatloaf pan. It's like a regular loaf pan, however, it has this. The fat can go through this. Just be careful when you're trying to lift it out of the oven or whatever. Don't pick it up by here because all you're gonna do is lift this part. So just make sure you're lifting all of it. But then once the meatloaf is ready, that's when you do this and leave all the fat drippings below. It's kind of nice. All right, now let's put this in here. Okay, this is going in a 350-degree oven for 40 minutes. And then we'll take it out and do a topping, like the ketchup topping on top. So 40 minutes, then we'll put the ketchup glaze on top and bake it for a little bit longer. Over here on the stove, I've got green beans and mashed potatoes going. Well, I'm boiling potatoes for mashed potatoes. But I need to mix up the ketchup for on top. You could just do ketchup if you want to, but we're gonna add just a little bit of vinegar. We need about 3/4 a cup of ketchup. This is a 1 cup measure here. We need about a tablespoon of vinegar. I probably should have used a bigger bowl, but story of my life. Now let's just mix that together. And this will go on top of our meatloaf that's gonna be coming out in about 5 or 6 minutes. And then it'll go back in the oven for at least another 10 minutes, possibly longer, just depending on how long it takes it to finish cooking. Okay, it's been 40 minutes. I just took this out. It smells so good. So I'm just gonna pour this all over top. Okay, this is going back in for at least another 10 minutes. We'll check it at that point. You ready to eat?
I like meatloaf for lunch on Friday.
I'm telling you what. Now I do want to tell y'all, I think I left it in an extra 15 minutes. You want to make sure that your ground beef is cooked to at least 155. So I kept checking it and I stuck it back in at 5-minute intervals. So
classic meatloaf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I get the onion flavor coming through.
Yeah, the onions in there.
Oh, that's really good.
So the only thing really other than just a regular meatloaf recipe is the fact that instead of just regular breadcrumbs, you're using the stuffing mix.
Right.
So
it's got great flavor to it.
Okay, awesome.
A lot of moisture.
Thank you. I don't know why I can take it with the U-R-E on the end. I don't know. I just can. This is a perfect meatloaf. The consistency is perfect. I love it. It's delicious. The green beans, the mashed potatoes. I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in the mashed potatoes, and yes, I gave her some. But it just makes them even creamier, and it's so good. This is a really good lunch, y'all. So what is a unique recipe that you have using stuffing mix? If I have never shared it before, let us know in the comments. You can always submit it on my website too for a subby supper. Just go to mandyinthemaking.com, scroll down to where it says subby supper, click there, and you can, Google form will come up and you can input that so that maybe I'll be making that soon. We enjoyed all 3 of these. I hope you'll give them a try, and we'll see you next time. Bye.